Join us as we go through all the top stories from our community through the past year. Now, with your host, Tom Zaleski, this is Local 5's Year in Review.
Thank you for joining us for this special edition of Local 5 News. I'm Tom Zaleski. As the year comes to a close, we wanted to take a look back at some of the biggest headlines of 2019. The good, the bad, and everything in between. The year started off on a high note when news broke that missing teenager Jamie Kloss had been found. Kloss had been missing since October 15th of 2018, disappearing after her parents had been murdered in their home. Jamie Yuccas followed the case from the beginning and brought us this report after the teen was found.
13-year-old Jamie Kloss was found alive 88 days after a stranger kidnapped her from her Wisconsin home. Authorities say the same man, Jake Patterson, shot both her parents to death with a shotgun.
The suspect had specific intentions to kidnap Jamie and went to great lengths to prepare to take her.
After a nearly 3-month search, Kloss was discovered wandering the small rural town of Gordon, about 65 miles away. She approached Jean Nutter, who was walking her dog.
She just said, "I'm lost and I don't know where I am and I need help." When she got near me and I could see who she was, she told me, "I'm Jamie." She was scared, but then when she, I stayed calm, so she stayed calm.
Nutter brought Kloss to a neighbor's house.
Jeannie walked in and said, "This is Jamie Kloss and call 911. I was in absolute shock.
Patterson held Kloss in a cabin, authorities say.
The suspect was not at home when Jamie escaped.
How she escaped remains a mystery, but Patterson was driving around, apparently looking for Kloss when he was arrested.
Jamie is the hero in this case. There's no question about it, and she's the one that helped us break the case.
And in March, then 21-year-old Jake Patterson pleaded guilty to 2 counts of intentional homicide and 1 count of kidnapping. He was sentenced in May, which is when he learned he would never be leaving prison. At the hearing, members of Jamie's family begged the judge to hand down the maximum sentence. Patterson's lawyers asked for the possibility of parole so Patterson could have more options for prison programming. In the end, the judge sided with the victim, sentencing Patterson to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Back in April, our attention and our hearts were captured by a Green Bay police canine by the name of Pyro. Pyro and his handler were assisting other officers with an arrest, and Pyro bit the suspect, who then allegedly stabbed the canine multiple times. Pyro was taken to an animal hospital, and though he was in critical condition, he continued to make strides and improve. And just 8 days after the attack, Pyro was well enough to go home. And a few days later, he made an official public appearance to show just how well he was doing.
This dog was injured on April 7th, and because he's such a remarkable little dog, and because he's had such great medical care, and because the officers on the scene took such good care of him, he's back already. And I think a lot of prayers were answered in the city of Green Bay and across the country for our dog Pyro.
Pyro officially returned to the force full-time on May 31st after being cleared by a vet. In May, tragedy struck the city of Appleton when firefighter Mitch Lundgaard was shot and killed while responding to a medical emergency. Witnesses say the scene started calmly but eventually turned chaotic. A bus passenger was reportedly suffering from an overdose. First responders revived him with Narcan, and though they tried to get him to go to the hospital, he refused. Eventually, he pulled a gun from his hip and shot twice, striking Lundgaard and a police officer. Lundgaard later died from his injuries.
Firefighters are the healers. Firefighters go to work every day, putting their lives on the line, taking care of people. This isn't expected of them, and so that makes it even more tragic.
Lundgaard left behind a wife and 3 sons. After his death, multiple fundraisers were held in Mitch's honor, with the proceeds going to benefit his family. And more tragedy fell in northeast Wisconsin after Missouri authorities confirmed human remains found on a farm belonged to Shawano County brothers Nick and Justin Diemel. The 2 had been reported missing back in July after they failed to return home from a business trip. Police say Missouri cattle farmer Garland Nelson allegedly shot and killed the Diemel brothers before burning their bodies and dumping them on a manure pile on his property. Nick and Justin had gone to Nelson's farm to collect a $250,000 debt. Nelson faces multiple charges in connection with this case. He is scheduled to appear in court on January the 9th. And the Packers faced their own grief back in May after legendary quarterback Bart Starr passed away. He was, of course, the Packers' main man for 16 years, winning 5 championships, including the first 2 Super Bowls. But it was his work off the field that cemented his place in the hearts of fans. He and his wife were co-founders of the nonprofit Rawhide Boys Ranch, which is dedicated to serving at-risk youth.
He's such a huge part of Green Bay, and everyone, that's why the stands didn't empty out at halftime, because they were here to pay a tribute to Bart.
Starr had been in failing health since suffering a stroke in 2014. He was 85 years old. The phrase, "the weather outside is frightful," was almost painfully accurate for Wisconsinites this year. From floods to tornadoes and all the snow, it was a year Mother Nature reminded us who's boss. That's still ahead. Welcome back to our special edition of Local 5 News, looking back at the biggest news of the year 2019. Well, between the snow and the cold and the tornadoes, Wisconsin is known for its crazy weather. But this year brought enough to have even our meteorologists shake their heads and say, enough. It all started at the end of January when the polar vortex made its way to Wisconsin. Between January 29th and the 31st, northeast Wisconsin did not see a temperature above 0 degrees. With the wind chill, temps got as low as the negative 40s. But then 3 days later, we saw highs of 40 degrees above 0. And as is traditional for Wisconsin winters, we were not without our fair share of snow this year, and it caused more trouble than usual this past February after the largest traffic crash in state history happened on I-41 near Neenah. 1 person was killed, 71 people were hospitalized. In total, 119 vehicles were involved in this crash, ranging from cars to semis to everything in between. Local 5 spoke with one woman involved in that crash who recounted the scary aftermath.
I hit my head, like we were both just all over the car. But I just remember like sitting there still thinking like, what's more to come? How many more times are we going to get hit? But that was, the semi kind of blocked the incoming cars.
Investigators say icy roads and whiteout conditions were to blame for that crash. Well, summer is always a great time in Wisconsin. The winter snow is melted away, the sun shines, the air gets nice and warm, but with summer comes a higher risk for severe storms. In July, severe weather moved quickly and harshly across the area. 12 tornadoes touched down within 24 hours in the state, 5 of those in our area. The winds caused plenty of damage, and trees fell across roads and power lines.
Blown over, sheared off halfway up. We've had trees blown over, ripped out of the ground by the roots, falling on buildings, falling on vehicles, blocking people's driveways so they can't exit.
In all, more than 100,000 people lost power due to the storm. Well, 2019 saw some big headlines and even bigger entertainment acts come to northeast Wisconsin. From a living legend to an iconic Broadway show. We'll have more on the entertainment coming up next. Welcome back. The start of a new year wasn't great for everyone this past January. That's when Wisconsin retail giant Shopko announced it filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. In the months that followed, dozens of Shopko stores closed their doors for good, including the original location in Ashwaubenon. Then in June, more than 700 current and former workers signed a letter seeking severance payments. And a longtime Appleton staple began 2019 by announcing they'd be closing their doors for good. Gabriel Furniture had been in business for some 90 years, but owners Joe and Ruby Wells decided 2019 was a good year to retire. The two bought that business back in 1988. But at the end of 2018, a developer showed serious interest in buying the building, which is situated at the corner of College Avenue and Morrison Street. After the announcement, Ruby Wells talked to Local 5 about how she felt about the future.
Well, we're really excited for retirement, but it is bittersweet because we're going to miss the people we work with and all of the customers who have become friends. That's the hard part about it, but it was the right time.
Gabriel closed for good in the spring. The building is now being renovated for a commercial and residential space. Well, June saw a living legend make his way to Titletown, an event that fans had waited months and months for. For the first time in his career, music icon Sir Paul McCartney took the stage at Lambeau Field.
Hello, Lambeau. Okay, so I'm getting the feeling we're going to have a bit of a good time here tonight. It's been a hard
Fans rocked out to some new music from Sir Paul, as well as some Beatles classic, including Hey Jude, Let It Be, and Helter Skelter. That concert lasted right around 3 hours. And then just 2 months after Paul McCartney came to Titletown, tickets went on sale for Hamilton. The legendary Broadway show came to the Fox Cities Performing Arts Center, but played for 3 weeks to make sure that fans didn't miss their chance to see this show. The tickets went on sale back in August, and hundreds of people waited in line for their chance to grab a seat. People waited in line for hours to buy those tickets, some even showing up the night before. In 2019, some local veterans got to take the trip of a lifetime, and we were there to see their second welcome home from Vietnam. That's up next. Welcome back. Back in March, 52 veterans were welcomed home from the first Old Glory honor flight to Vietnam. And for 2 brothers who made that trip, it was the journey of a lifetime. Local 5's Nate Stewart was at the welcome home ceremony, and he saw firsthand the impact it left on our local vets.
Welcome home, veterans!
A packed house at Menasha High School.
Welcome home! Welcome home!
With those 2 words,
welcome home! Welcome home!
Constantly being repeated.
Welcome home, brother. Can I get a hug?
Along with cheers, tears, hugs, handshakes, salutes, plenty of welcome home signs, and lots of red, white, and blue.
We're here.
52 veterans back from the first Old Glory honor flight to Vietnam were greeted by thousands after their 2-week trip.
We rewrote the narrative of the Vietnam veterans' homecoming.
We talked with brothers Tom and Dale Van Lannen before the trip.
We're ready to go back. We want to go back.
And after, they say the welcome home ceremony was a truly incredible experience.
Deep in my heart, I really appreciate what they did for all us veterans coming back to cheer us on like that.
I wish the night would have lasted a couple more hours. I loved it.
I think it was just incredible seeing those thousands of people at Menasha High School.
Scott Delsart is an Army veteran and Old Glory Honor Flight board member. He says being a part of the trip was something he'll never forget.
2 weeks is hard to sum up, but if you could sum it up with one word, I would say speechless.
Tom says the experience helped him personally.
Now I can kind of more talk about it, you know, to other veterans and to my family members. There's a certain amount of closure after so many years. It never will always go away, but it does help relieve the pressure.
Dale wanted to come face to face with the Viet Cong and go to the fields where he was stationed. 2 things he accomplished.
I went over there and I got done with what I wanted to do. Those 2 things. That's what I wanted to do.
And the welcome home ceremony was just icing on the cake.
We had veterans come up to us and say, you know, my life is now complete. I have finally slept a full night and the first time in forever.
Got to meet my wife after 2 weeks and then come out to the crowd. They're all cheering and yelling and screaming, waving at you. It was quite a thrill.
We were able to walk in with our spouses because it was, to me, I felt that was the right thing to do. The other people I didn't know, and they're hugging and saluting you, and it just, I can't say enough. I think if anybody there that didn't have a little tear in their eye or something, something was wrong. I mean, it was just fantastic. It just wasn't us getting this recognition, it was all the veterans from all the wars that were getting the recognition.
It has been beyond words. It's been an honor and a privilege to do this for these veterans.
It was a dream come true for me.
In Menasha, Nate Stewart.
Welcome home. Welcome home. Thanks for coming.
Local 5 News.
Welcome back. This past year saw some big changes for the Green Bay Packers after former head coach Mike McCarthy was abruptly fired in 2018. This past January, the Packers announced Matt LaFleur would be taking the top spot. President and CEO Mark Murphy admitted that of the 10 candidates for the job, LaFleur was the only one that seemed to stand out. LaFleur has held many positions with various teams throughout the NFL. His job with the Pack, however, his first as an NFL head coach. And LaFleur didn't waste any time in bringing glory back to the Pack. The team last appeared in the playoffs in 2016, which was also the last time they won their division. So in his first year as head coach, LaFleur maneuvered the green and gold to a winning record, the title of division champion, and a top seed in the playoffs. After an incredible season last year, it was no surprise to anyone the Milwaukee Bucks were recognized for their hard work at the 2019 NBA Awards, and that includes Giannis Antetokounmpo, who took home the MVP trophy. He's only the second Bucks player in history to win that award, but he's also the third youngest to win it in the past 40 years. An emotional night for Giannis at the award show, and he shared parts of his journey and proved his motivation and dedication to being the best.
2 years ago, I had the goal in my head that I'm going to be the best player in the league. Yeah, I'm going to do whatever it takes to help my team win, and I'm going to win the MVP. And every day that I step on the floor, I always think about my dad, and that motivates me and it pushes me to play harder. And
Giannis also thanked his mother and brothers for their support. Badger fans celebrated in 2019 as well. After a season that saw the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, the Badgers were selected to play in the 2020 Rose Bowl. Back in 2012, the Badgers lost their second of 3 consecutive Rose Bowls to the Oregon Ducks. They'll have their chance at redemption as the Badgers once again face the Ducks in that iconic game. The Badgers have not won the Rose Bowl since the year 2000. Well, we thank you for joining us as we looked at some of the biggest headlines from the past year. From all of us here at Local 5, we hope you have a happy new year, and be sure to tune in tonight at 10:30 for our special First Eve celebration. Have a good evening.